Just come again, Commissioner.
Would a National Commissioner of Police be entitled to disobey an instruction by the minister if that instruction strayed onto operational matters? Would the National Commissioner be legally entitled to say to the minister, Minister, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to act in accordance with your instruction?
Yeah, I take it that, yes, the National Commissioner can say that.
Now let me be direct and ask you about yourself. If you were to find yourself in such a situation, would you disobey the minister? If the minister were to give you an instruction that strays onto operational or managerial matters, would you, General Masemola, say to the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, it depends, Commissioner, but yes, I will. It's a matter that is career limiting, but
it depends on what?
It depends on how he does it.
It's simple. It's
Yes.
simple. You have said operational and managerial matters are within your remit and not the minister's.
Yes.
So I am saying categorically to you that in what I posit to you, the instruction would be falling outside of the minister's remit and be straying onto operational and managerial matters. It's that clear.
Yeah, no.
Would you, General Masemola, tell the minister, I am not going to obey that?
Yeah, no, I will tell him that I won't do it. But as I said, it depends. So he must explain why he's doing certain things.
So if he explains himself, would you then obey, even if the instruction still strayed beyond the minister's powers and strayed onto your powers and functions?
Yeah,
I want to understand that depends. So if the minister explained him or herself satisfactorily to you, would you then say, Minister, even though you are encroaching onto my area of function, I will obey you. You are acting unlawfully. You are not acting in accordance with Section 207(2) of the Constitution, but because you have explained satisfactorily to me, I'm going to obey you. Would you say that?
Well, if he explains and I find the reasons acceptable, then I will. But if I find them not acceptable, then I will not comply with that instruction.
Explain yourself. Explain yourself. Why would you obey an instruction on something that the minister has no legal, no constitutional basis to do? Why would you obey that? Just explain that. I want to understand you.
Now, here's a question for you all. What would you do if your boss asked you to do something that you knew was unlawful or outside their authority? This is not just about the police. This is about professional ethics, leadership, and survival in any career. So, Section 207, subsection 2 of the South African Constitution. The minister sets policing policy. The National Commissioner of Police controls and manages operations. So when the minister, Senzo Mchunu, ordered a disbandment of this political killing task team, that was not policy. That was operational decision. And constitutionally, that falls under the Commissioner of Police, the National Commissioner of Police. That's not the Minister of Police's power. Of course, as you have heard, how he answered that question. But notice how he's doing here. He's hedging. He doesn't want to openly defy the minister because, as he said, that might be seen as insubordination, career ending. But he also doesn't want to say outright that the minister has the authority, because that would be unconstitutional. I actually didn't like how he answered this question, because it should have been very clear to him how he should answer this question. And this is a question that many people will not get a job if they ask this question and not able to answer it correctly. Okay, if it's an interview, you ask this question, especially professional interview, and you're not able to answer this question, oh, you won't be hired. You won't be hired. Okay, this is an ethical dilemma. And for example, would you obey blindly? Of course, short-term survival. There is a long-term loss of credibility, and his credibility now is questionable. I'm questioning his credibility about why he doesn't look like someone who has a very strong ethical principle, like Ntanhla Mkhwanazi. And I just worry that how come Ntanhla Mkhwana is reporting to him? It should be the other way around, actually. But anyway, this is not let's just talk about this stuff. But yeah, that was my thought when I was looking at this clip, and I thought, oh my god, this should have been just the other way around. I think Ntanhla Mkhwana should have been a national commissioner of police, because he's a little bit more smarter than him. But anyway, let's look at this. If he declined outright, declining outright, of course, he'd expected to do so because upholding the law. But it also risk of being pushed out, as you said, it could be a career ending. And this is exactly why so many professionals find themselves in a trap. In a short term, it feels safer to comply, you have your job, but in the long term, it destroys your reputation, your integrity, and sometimes your career itself. And in some professional conduct, like in healthcare, in health setting, this one you can, depending what is the breach, the extent of the breach to your clients or patient, you could actually be deregistered. In this one, you should really know the answer to this question. Yeah. So, for example, in corporate governance, the chief financial officer asked to fudge numbers. Um, you know, would you fudge a number if you're CFO just to work at that job because you like that job, because it's close to home? In healthcare, a nurse asked to ignore safety protocols. In law, for example, a lawyer pressured to cover for client's misconduct. In an interview, asked, would you follow your boss instructions? If you were asked this in an interview, would you follow your boss instructions? The ethical answer is not blind obedience. The actual ethical answer to this question is conditional. Like, for example, you need to be clear that I follow the law. I will follow the instruction if it's lawful. Ethical instruction consistent with my professional obligations. That is the mark of true professionalism. So obviously Masemola himself admitted that declining could be seen as insubordinations. But here's the reality here. Declining an unlawful act is not insubordination. It's his duty. It is your duty. The Constitution of South Africa and in your professional setting, in your professional code of conduct, The law must always come first, regardless. The first thing you have to ask in any setting like this, when you're faced with ethical dilemma, is to ask yourself, is it lawful? If it's lawful, okay, then you can consider some other ethical issues. But if it's not lawful, you cannot proceed. So whether you're a police commissioner, a doctor, a physio, a pharmacist, or an accountant, you need to remember this. Your highest loyalty is not the person in power, it's the law, the code of ethics, and the principle of your profession. That's how you protect both your career and your conscience. So, what do you think, all? If you were Masemola's position, would you have declined outright, even if it cost your job? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, if you're new here and you like the things we talk about, please consider subscribing. Until next time, see ya.